Where did she go? Ifunanya, where are you? Something's wrong. This isn't just a school. I'm going to find out the truth, even if it kills me.
By the time the first girl disappeared, Madame Beatrice Alade was already regarded as a pillar of society. Her face smiled down from billboard along Flawless and Kind, advertising Bright Heights Preparatory Academy, one of the fastest growing private schools in the city. On morning radio shows, presenters praised her as a self-made woman, a graceful philanthropist who rose from nothing. Parents whispered her name with reverence. Politicians attended her fundraisers. Pastors invited her to sit in the front row. So when 19-year-old Ifunanya Okoria stopped attending classes, no one thought to ask questions. In Lagos, children vanish all the time, swallowed by traffic, poverty, broken homes. One more absence did not disturb the rhythm of the city, except for her friend Zara. Zara was new to Bright Heights, a scholarship student from Ajagunle who still said thank you too often and lowered her eyes when teachers spoke. She shared a desk with Ifunanya, shared meat pie dream break, shared dreams of one day owning a fashion brand. Ifunanya had been bright, stubborn, always laughing too loudly. She made Zara feel less invisible. Then one Monday, Ifunanya's seat was empty. By Wednesday, it was still empty. On Friday afternoon, Zara stood near the school gate, watching Madame Beatrice step into her black SUV as usual, her heels spotless despite the dust, her perfume drifting like money in the air. The madame turned, smiled at the parents, waved as if blessing them. Zara felt it then, a cold heaviness in her chest. Something was wrong. Bright Heights Preparatory Academy was not an ordinary school. It was a fortress of glass and order, CCTV cameras at every corner, security guards with intimidating shoulders. Teachers spoke softly around Madame Beatrice, even senior ones. Students instinctively straightened their backs when she passed. She was not loud, she was calm, too calm. Madame Beatrice spoke about excellence the way other people spoke about God. She believed in discipline, sacrifice, order. She told her students that the world was cruel and only the prepared survived. "You children are lucky," she often said in assembly, voice smooth as satin. "I am building something strong for you, something lasting." Parents nodded. Who did not want their child hardened for success? Zara noticed the smaller details. The way some scholarship students were called to Madame Beatrice's office one by one. The confidentiality forms parents barely read before signing. The after-school talent grooming sessions that only selected students were invited to attend. When Zara asked the teacher where Ifunanya had gone, the teacher frowned. "She transferred," she said quickly. "Transferred where?" The teacher only repeated, "Transferred." That night, Zara could not sleep. Her mother snored softly beside her in their one-room apartment. Above the fan's dull whine, Zara remembered the last thing Ifunanya had told her. "They called me to Madame's office," she had whispered, eyes shining. "She said I have potential." Potential for what? Zara began paying attention. She noticed how Madame Beatrice's generosity always came with silence. The scholarship students who made it never spoke about how. Some stopped interacting with friends altogether. Others changed suddenly, dressing finer, owning phones they could never afford, but their laughter disappeared. Every Friday evening, Madame Beatrice hosted closed-door meetings at her Lekki office building. Glass towers that reflected the sunset like polished teeth. Officially, there were mentorship sessions for high-potential youths. Unofficially, no one knew what happened inside. One evening, Zara followed. She waited until the security guard was distracted and slipped through the side entrance, heart pounding so loudly she feared it would summon attention. The elevator ride felt endless. On the 12th floor, voices drifted through a slightly open conference room door. Madame Beatrice was speaking.
"You must understand," she said, her voice warmer than usual. "Greatness demands costs." Zara peeked inside. 3 girls sat stiffly at the table, all between 19 and 21. Their uniforms had been replaced with plain dresses. Their eyes looked glazed, fearful. I am giving you opportunities your parents cannot, Madame Beatrice continued. In return, I expect obedience, loyalty, and gratitude. One of the girls trembled. Madam, I don't understand. Madame Beatrice's smile vanished. You will. Zara stumbled backward, her foot scraping the tile. The door snapped open instantly. Madame Beatrice stood there, eyes sharp as cut glass. Who are you? She asked softly. That night, Zara ran. She ran through crowded streets, through honking cars and shouting conductors, through fear so thick it burned her lungs. She knew then that if Ifunanya had not transferred, she had been taken. But accusing a woman like Madame Beatrice was like shouting at the ocean. No one listened.
Zara tried reporting anonymously. The education board praised Madame Beatrice instead. Social workers dismissed her claims as jealousy. Her school friends warned her to stop asking questions if she valued her future. The madam is not someone to play with, Mon whispered. Then strange things began happening. Madame Beatrice's perfect life started cracking, slowly, quietly. A viral video surfaced of her shouting violently at a staff member. It disappeared within hours, but people saw it. Rumors followed. 2 employees resigned, abruptly refusing to explain why. One night during a televised charity event, Madame Beatrice froze mid-speech, her eyes glazing as if she saw something no one else did. She whispered, "Not now," into the microphone. The audience laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. Zara knew better. Madame Beatrice began seeing Ifunanya everywhere, in reflections, in mirrors, in darkened screens, sometimes in traffic. She swore a girl crossed the road wearing Dwight Heights uniform, hair braided the same way, head turned just enough for recognition. When she looked again, the road was empty. Her sleep evaporated, her composure frayed. At night, she heard knocking in her luxurious penthouse, steady and patient. When she opened the door, nothing was there. Madame Beatrice had built her empire carefully. She had grown up poor, invisible, abused by systems that rewarded silence and obedience. She learned early that kindness was currency, power, insurance. She collected favors, secrets, lives. The girls she recruited were not meant to disappear forever. They were meant to serve, to pay debts the world owed her, to support her political aspirations quietly. Some were sent away. Some were broken beyond repair. Ifunanya had resisted. Resistance came with consequences, but consequences work both ways. The first arrest did not come for Madame Beatrice. It came for her accountant, picked up on fraud charges. He talked, documents leaked, names surfaced. Zara was called in to testify. For the first time, people listened. Parents marched, social media roared. Investigations uncovered financial crimes, psychological abuse, illegal confinement. The girls came forward, trembling, scarred, but alive. Madame Beatrice was arrested at dawn, still wearing silk pajamas, hair undone. As the police escorted her out, she locked eyes with Zara across the crowd. "You think you've won," she said calmly. "The world doesn't care about girls like you." Zara met her gaze. It does now. In prison, Madame Beatrice waited for connections to work, for favors owed, for systems she had feared to protect her. They did not come. The nights were long. The lights never fully went out. She began talking to herself, arguing with invisible figures. She clawed at her reflection in the metal sink, trying to scrape off a face that no longer protected her. One morning, guards found her crawled in a corner, whispering apologies to names long buried. By the time her trial ended, the city had moved on, as cities always do. New scandals replaced old ones, new madams rose and fell, but Bright Heights Preparatory Academy was shut down. Zara transferred schools, older now, steadier. She still dreamed of fashion, but she also learns the weight of voices, the danger of silence. Sometimes, she stood at bus stops, watching billboards change, faces smiling down, polished and perfect. She remembered one simple truth her mother told her after everything ended. No matter how high someone climbs, she said, the ground remembers their footsteps. And somewhere in the city's restless heart, the name the wicked Madame lingered as a warning, not a legend, but a reminder. Evil does not always wear darkness. Sometimes it wears success, perfume, and a kind smile waiting for silence to protect it. Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe.